Do you have a busy life? Are you struggling to keep it all together, spinning all those plates? Are the really important things in your life getting lost in your overflowing inbox? Well, we're going to spend just a few minutes looking at how you can get hold of your life, get it back on track, and keep the main thing the main thing. I don't know how many emails you get each day, that constant flow of work missives, messages from friends, promotions from restaurants and clothing stores and whatever mailing lists we signed up for and just haven't got around to unsubscribing from yet. And over time our mailbox gets stuffed full of emails that probably number in the thousands until it gets very difficult to find the important email amongst the junk. The other day I tried to find the booking details for our summer camping holiday and I just couldn't spot it and I couldn't remember the name of the place we'd booked. But fortunately, I had previously forwarded the email on to my wife, who was a lot more organised than me, and she had flagged the email. Basically, she'd attached a little flag to it so it'd be easier to find later. In fact, the email is safely placed in a flagged mailbox. You see, if an email is important, and we're going to have to find it at a later date, this is a great way of ensuring it doesn't get lost in the mountain of emails that fill our inboxes each day. And if I'm honest, my life can be a bit like my inbox. So much busyness, work, family, food shopping, cleaning the house, sorting out admin, planning holidays, meeting friends, each one trying to get my attention, each one needing sorting ASAP, until I get to the point where I just haven't got enough time and enough me to go round. Now I know what the important things in life should be. Family, marriage, health, relationships. I think we can probably all agree on that, but these important things can easily get lost, drowned out by everything else, pushed down the list. And when I think about how I live my life, I probably spend more time sorting out daily stuff than taking care of my health. My thoughts are probably more consumed with developing my work than improving my marriage. And if I'm really honest, I'd rather work through my never-ending to-do list than sit down with my kids and do what they want to do. But there is actually something that is more important, even more of a priority than those things that we've listed. In fact, Jesus talks about it in a sermon he gave to his followers, recorded in Matthew's account of his life and ministry. Jesus talks about life and all its worries, what to eat and drink, what to wear, and all these things are important and necessary, but Jesus tells his followers that there is something that should top the list of priorities. And Jesus promises that if we make that number one in our lives, well, then all the other stuff will get sorted. This is what he says: seek the kingdom of God above all else and live righteously, and he, that's God, will give you everything you need. Jesus is flagging up the truth that there are two realities in life. There's the reality of the world we see around us, everyday life that is chock full of so much stuff that we're pulled from pillar to post just trying to keep up. But there's the reality of the kingdom of God, where God's reign and love and values collide with our reality. And Jesus wants us to seek that kingdom, live those values, place God as king over our lives, making him number one. Jesus wants us to slow down, to look up, to look around and view our lives through kingdom goggles, helping us to see what is truly important in this world and to orient our lives around them, our family, our marriage, our relationships, God. Yes, there are many important things in our lives. Let's not belittle those. But Jesus is saying that if we keep the main thing, then everything else will follow. It's a bit like when I'm towing my caravan. It's a pretty hair-raising prospect towing a 7-meter long, 1.5-ton trailer behind your car. And I have to do numerous checks to make sure nothing is going to drop off en route, that the lights work, that the caravan's loaded properly. But once I've set off, I need to focus on the road ahead, not spending the entire journey checking in my mirrors that the caravan's still attached. And sure, there are times when I go down a narrow road or make a tight turn that I do need to pay attention to what I'm towing. But my focus needs to be on the journey and the road ahead, Because there's a reason why my windscreen is much bigger than my rear view mirror. Likewise, we need to fix our eyes on Jesus. Seek God's kingdom and he will sort out the rest. So as we close, let's think of how we can flag that message in our life this week. How can we ensure that God and his kingdom doesn't get pushed further down the list and lost amongst everything else? Well, here's some ideas for you. Firstly, why not take some time to flag up the key priorities in your life? I mean, what is truly important for you? Secondly, as you boil a kettle for your morning coffee or afternoon tea, take those few minutes to connect with God and present your requests to him. And then lastly, why not connect with someone this week? A friend or a family member? Send them a text, give them a call, buy them a coffee. Give them the gift of your time. If we looked at where you spend your time, effort and money, what would it tell us about your priorities? How influenced are your priorities by the demands of society and culture? How important to you are the kingdom priorities of loving God and others? How does your life reflect their importance?